Hello, wrestling fans. This is Alan Cotton with another edition of the Final Verdict Wrestling Review, and I'm reviewing the June 30th, 2011 edition of TNA Impact Wrestling. And I must admit, TNA has been on a roll in the last couple of weeks with their wrestling programs. Yeah, that TNA with Dixie Carter and Jeff Jarrett and everybody. They've really been on a roll here. Not many complaints I can give out. The show started out with a definite pro with the segment between Hulk Hogan, Mr. Anderson, the world champion, and of course Sting. Let me talk about Sting for a minute. Sting is absolutely golden right now. He's doing a wrestling version of Heath Ledger's Joker. If anybody's really paying attention, it seems like Sting has slowly been losing his mind ever since losing the TNA World Title. And with him keeping the world title, he feels he's defending TNA and keeping it away from total domination of Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. Of course, Sting knows what Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff be on, thanks to their run in WCW back in the 90s. So Sting, he's one step above, ahead of everybody else on the roster. He's trying to tell these young guys, this is not, these are not great people like they make themselves out to be. So the history goes that due to Eric Bischoff and his shenanigans, he loses the world title to Mr. Anderson at Slammiversary. So of course, ever since then, like Sting, week after week, Sting is slowly beginning to lose his grip on reality because he feels he's losing a battle with Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan because now he doesn't have possession of the TNA World Championship. So with that said, what we saw tonight was absolutely hilarious from Sting. It was a great thing. Now you can see he's changed his makeup now. It looks just like the Joker from the Dark Knight movie for all my Batman fans out there who've seen it, such as myself. Absolutely great portrayal by Sting. The Mr. Anderson Hogan segment was okay, but of course things really started to kick in full gear. Or as Jim Ross would say, business picked up when Sting got involved. He takes out Immortal by himself, but of course with his trademark back, and that was a definite pro of the night. Of course, the first match of the night between Devon and Samoa Joe is a con. Nothing against Devon, of course. Devon, he's one of the greatest tag team competitors thanks to between him and now Bully Ray when they were the Dudley Boys and of course Team 3D. I don't have a problem with Devon, like I said before, but I do have a problem with the burial of Samoa Joe, which is have been doing for seemingly months now. Samoa Joe has really been in kind of limbo with TNA. I don't know if management is upset with the guy. They don't see a future with this guy, but I totally disagree with how they feel about Samoa Joe. And him getting buried is just ridiculous week after week after week in this Bound for Glory series. Even before the Bound for Glory series, he's just losing to guys for apparently no reason. I mean, he's putting over Crimson, he put over Jeff Jarrett, he's putting over anybody they throw ahead of him. And he dominates a vast majority of the match with Devon, and he loses off one chokeslam. The pro is definitely the triple threat X Division match between, get this, we got Matt Bentley, of course, from early TNA Impact episodes. We got Jimmy Yang, and if you've been familiar with WWE, formerly known as Jimmy Wang Yang, and we got Low Ki. If you don't know who Low Ki is, for guys who, people who watch most of WWE, Low Ki went by the name of Kaval. He was the NXT Season 2 winner, and of course he actually was released only a few months later. So now he's back in TNA with his original name of Low Ki, the World Warrior. Awesome match. All three guys were working on all cylinders. Tremendous chemistry. It makes you want to, this match and all the X Division matches that I've been seeing recently with the old X Division guys coming back really, really, really convinces me personally, and I hope a lot of you, to actually order Destination X, because we're seeing some great matches week after week. These are guys that built the X Division to, the X Division between about 04 to 06, the X Division really was at its golden memories, his golden streak, a high point. It was great. Everything was hitting on all cylinders with AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Chris Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, because you got Matt Bentley, and you had guys like Austin Aries, and you had guys like Low Key, Elix Skipper, all these great guys was putting on tremendous matches in the X Division. The X Division ended up becoming the reason to watch TNA. It was that alternative, and that match tonight was absolutely fantastic. Kudos to all three of those men. Of course, we ended up following that with another pro with the knockout elimination match involving Madison Rayne, Angelina Love, Winter, Mickie James, Tara, and I'm sorry, that was it. But that was a very good match also. And the other thing that was very surprising about TNA during their run was the knockouts. That was the other reason to watch. That's another reason why they became so successful during the early period. You really wish they would stay on top of things like that, because that automatically makes them stand out from WWE. Because WWE no longer has a cruiserweight division, and their divas really aren't. They're good, but they're not great. And the match that we saw tonight with the Elimination Knockouts match was absolutely fantastic. I really did enjoy watching it. Not saying it's a classic, but it was great for TV. Of course, with Mickie James coming out with the win over Angelina Love and Winter. And if you paid attention there, you start to see a little dissension between Winter and Angelina Love, because Winter wants the win, other than Angelina Love trying to get the pinfall. You saw a little interaction there. You actually saw Angelina Love speak, which is a con, because zombies don't talk. Think about it. Now, another pro was the segment between Daniels, AJ Styles, Jerry Lynn, and RVD. Of course, setting up the Four Corners match between the men next week on TNA Impact Wrestling. But it also sets up, excuse me, it also sets up Jerry Lynn versus RVD for Destination X. Who does not want to see that match? We already got Daniels and AJ Styles at the pay-per-view, which I'm assuming will be the main event, because that match is already that's going to be fantastic. Involve those two, the chemistry there is unparalleled. Then we also got an old ECW rivalry from the 90s between Jerry Lynn and RVD. Pretty sure both guys can go, especially Jerry Lynn. RVD, I'm not going to lie, he's not what he used to be, but the guy can still get it done when he needs to get it done. And now we're going to see a Four Corners match, and I'm really anticipating the Four Corners match. And I got to give credit to TNA for advertising the next show on the prior show. You don't see a lot of that by WWE when they advertise next week's matches to get everybody ready and prepared for what's going to happen next week. I'd like to see a lot more of that between wrestling shows. Give me a reason to tune in next week, so I won't be coming in, blindfolded. Get what I'm saying? And I really do give a lot of credit to TNA, because they had a habit of doing that. So kudos to TNA. And also, another pro was right when that segment was done, we got Gunner comes out and he ambushes AJ, because he has a match next with AJ. And that was a great match. And let me say something. Gunner winning this match, beating Anderson, then beating Sting. He just beat three top guys. AJ Styles, Sting, Mr. Anderson. All three of these men have held the TNA World Championship. Mr. Anderson is the current TNA World Championship. They all got beaten by a rookie Gunner. That is, TNA obviously is very high on this guy. So we're gonna see where they go with this guy. But I give a lot of credit to Gunner to being at the right place at the right time, because now TNA is giving him, it seems like they're giving him a pretty decent push. Him and Crimson are giving very big pushes here, and with Gunner beating, three top guys in a succession of weeks, you really got to start paying attention to him. Not to mention that he's using, like I mentioned before in the previous review, he's using the F5 as his finisher. So I got to give credit to Gunner, man, just for being at the right place at the right time, and the promotion's on this side, and they're giving them a very big push here, beating these guys. So let's see where they go next week. As far as the main event was Sting versus Scott Steiner. If you don't know, Scott Steiner is now an Immortal, which is a definite con, which is what I said last week, just for the fact that when Scott Steiner reappeared in TNA, he was one of them guys that was trying to take out Immortal. Now all of a sudden he's in Immortal, which kind of shows that TNA really don't have much to do for Scott Steiner. So hey, just throw him in Immortal and they'll figure something out. They threw their arms in the air when it came to Scott Steiner. But regardless of that fact, I give the main event a pro. Not due to the match. The match was okay. But the ambush at the end, Immortal comes in, ambushes Sting. They finally get the upper hand on Sting, who got the upper hand at the beginning of the show. So they regroup, they ambush Sting. Hulk Hogan comes in, and of course he gets his licks in. But the surprise was the guy who came and saved Sting from further beatdown, which was none other than Kurt Angle. I give this a pro because now I think it's time they realize that the Kurt Angle-Jeff Jarrett feud is over. Now they're putting Kurt Angle somewhere else aligned with Sting against Immortal. So let's see where that goes next week. Let's see how that carries out. Hopefully it won't get Jeff Jarrett involved. I don't want to see another Jarrett Angle match for the rest of the year. Let's just keep these guys apart. But the final verdict for the June 30th, 2011 edition of TNA Impact Wrestling, I have to give it a 10. Perfect show. 2 cons. That's all I had. A bunch of pros. Nice sell for the X Division pay-per-view, Destination X. Really looking forward to what I see next week in this Four Corners match. So they hit everything on all cylinders. Like I said, TNA's been on the roll. So I give them a lot of credit. They get a perfect 10 from me. And show me what you guys think. Let me know. But until then, be sure to tune in tomorrow when I'll be reviewing Friday Night SmackDown. And of course, I'll be reviewing Monday Night Raw. But until then, this is Alan Cotton. This is the Final Verdict Wrestling Review. Y'all take care of yourselves.